A person that loves Jehovah in this system of things has to be very careful. Why? Imagine that you are a person that takes care of the very sick and contagious, let's say a doctor or nurse. The very contagious people are people that do not care or believe in Jehovah as being the true God and in Jesus Christ as our King. They can and they will make you like them. Let's say you have an unbeliever friend. He can come to you in a very friendly manner and tell you that he wants to help you become financially independent. First, being financially independent is not a bad thing. The bad thing is when trying to keep your wealth and you don't have time to serve God. You see, you are already becoming contagious with your love for money rather than love for God. In the last days of this system, people who do not love God ignore his standards of right and wrong. The Apostle Paul described their negative qualities when he wrote his letter to Timothy. Paul said that these negative qualities would become even more common as we near the end of this system. Read 2 Timothy 3:1-5, 13. Paul wrote that in the last days, there would be critical times hard to deal with. Then he made a list of 19 negative qualities that would be very common in our time. These qualities are similar to the ones Paul mentioned at Romans 1:29-31. But the list in his letter to Timothy uses words we do not find anywhere else in the Christian Greek scriptures. Paul began with the words "for men will be." Here, men means people, since both men and women can have bad qualities. But not all humans have the negative qualities that Paul described. Christians have very different qualities. Read Malachi 3:18. After Paul said that many would be lovers of themselves and lovers of money, he added that people would be boastful, haughty, and puffed up with pride. People who have these qualities often think that they are better than others because of how they look, what they can do, what they have, or what their position in life is. Such people want more than anything to be admired. One scholar wrote about a person like that, in his heart there is a little altar where he bows down before himself. Some have said that pride is so ugly that even proud people do not like it when they see pride in others. Jehovah hates pride, which is described in the Bible as haughty eyes. In fact, pride keeps a person far from God. Pride is a quality of the devil. 1 Timothy 3:6. The sad truth is that even some loyal servants of Jehovah have become infected with pride. For example, King Uzziah of Judah was faithful for many years. But the Bible says, as soon as he was strong, his heart became haughty to his own ruin, and he acted unfaithfully against Jehovah his God. Uzziah went to the temple and burned incense, which was not his right to do. Later, faithful King Hezekiah also became proud, though only for a while. 2 Chronicles 26:16, 32:25, 26. Some people become proud because they are good-looking, popular, musically talented, strong, or admired by others. David was all these things, but he remained humble his whole life. For example, after David killed Goliath, King Saul said that David could marry his daughter. But David said, "Who am I and who are my relatives, my father's family in Israel, for me to become son-in-law to the king?" 1 Samuel 18:18. What helped David to remain humble? He knew that any qualities, abilities, and privileges he had were because God was humble and paid attention to him. Psalm 113:5-8. David realized that anything good he had came from Jehovah. Like David, Jehovah's people today try to be humble. It touches our hearts to know that Jehovah himself, who is the Most High, is humble. Psalm 18:35. We want to apply these words: clothe yourselves with the tender affections of compassion, kindness, humility, mildness, and patience. Colossians 3:12. We also know that love does not brag, does not get puffed up. 1 Corinthians 13:4. When others see that we are humble, they too may want to get to know Jehovah. Just as an unbelieving husband can be drawn to Jehovah by the good conduct of his Christian wife, people can be drawn to God by the humility of his servants. Paul described how people would treat one another in the last days. He wrote that children would be disobedient to parents. Today, many books, movies, and television programs make it seem normal and acceptable for children to be disobedient to their parents. But the truth is that disobedience weakens the family, the basic unit of society. Humans have known this truth for a long time. For example, in ancient Greece, a man who hit his parents would lose his rights in the community. Under Roman law, someone who hit his father could be punished the way a murderer would be. Both the Hebrew and the Greek scriptures command children to honor their parents. Exodus 20:12, Ephesians 6:1-3.